Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sandra's Authors Forum. This is Conversations with Sandra. Tonight we have a wonderful guest on. Her name is, I'm excited to tell you, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe that I met such a wonderful person. And she's in real estate. And she's going to tell you just wisdom on top of wisdom on top of wisdom. She's going to answer all of your questions that you have had for years. And I'm excited to bring her to you. Her name tonight is Judeline Alce. Will you please welcome her to the stage? Welcome, Alce. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Miss Sandra. Hello, everybody. I am so ecstatic to be with you all this evening because I have a wealth of information ready to share. We're here to make sure that in 2023 that everyone who has the will um, is able to follow the process in order to become homeowners. So that's why we're here tonight to answer all of these questions.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so happy that you're here, and we want to welcome the guests along with you. Everybody in the audience, I want you to do me a favor. Go to your YouTube channel and hit the bell and then share. Can you do that for me? Share, 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 because sharing is caring. We're going to get right into it. Miss Judeline, will you share a little bit about yourself tonight?
Yes, I can. On top of real estate, in addition to real estate, I have a very diverse background. I've been an educator in the public school system for the last 10 years. So I enjoy teaching and learning. And then I decided to become an investor in real estate myself because you don't need a license to be an investor. We purchased our first home. By the way, buying your first home is considered an investment in real estate. Um, and I also run short term rental properties. So I decided, well, I am doing all of these things for myself, but I would also love to help my community benefit from um, all the good things that comes out of it. And when I started researching, well, how do I do that? How do I help other people also become homeowners? And I realized that I needed to have my real estate license, and that's why I became a realtor. And I've been helping families one, two, three at a time. Um, Living rent, the rental system. We know how rent is currently rising. We don't know when, we don't know how far is going to go, but we know that rent is becoming more and more expensive for a lot of people and less affordable for a lot of people. But we all need a place to stay, right? Everybody needs shelter. Everybody needs a home. Everybody needs a place to call home. And there's nothing bad with renting as long as you have an exit strategy, right? Where, at some point in my life, I was a renter. And, to make a long story short, when I travel, one thing about real estate, the reason why real estate is so valuable is because you cannot displace it. You cannot carry it with you to another place. So when you're a visitor, when you travel, you actually have to find shelter in that area where you're currently residing. So you have to rent a place like a hotel room or short term stay. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with renting, but we do know that there are benefits that you get from owning versus renting all the time. And we're going to dissect all of these benefits tonight with Miss Sandra.
Exactly. So, Elsie, what has been your driving force and your passion for the last 5 years?
My passion is creating financial freedom. And one way to do that if we look at all of the top wealth managers, people that we look up to that have financial freedom, you're going to realize one thing about them is that they find a way to create passive income. What that means is they find a way, not that they don't work, they do work, they put in work and time in the beginning to create something. And that thing that they create continues to produce income over a period of time, not to say a lifetime. So they're not exchanging their time for money. When we go to work, essentially what we're doing is we're selling our time. Okay. We put in 6 hours, we get in 6 hours worth of pay. We put in 25 hours. Well, we can't, there's less than 25 hours in a day. But we put in, let's say 8 hours, we get 8 hours worth of pay. But how do you, well, and then we find out, well, that's not enough. I want more. Well, what do you have to do if you want to make more money? The traditional way is to put in more time, but at then you end up running out of time, okay? Because they only have 24 hours and you can only be in one place at once. So what do you do to create more income? Because we can't create time. What can you do? What are some ways that we can create additional income without having to put in more time? So that's where passive income comes in. So my passion, to answer your question, is to help people find ways to create financial freedom. And one of the keys to do that is to, you've all heard the saying, how do I make money in my sleep? How do I continue to get paid without having to be in a specific location selling my time for money?
Very good. So, um, we get your point. Yes. And Victoria says she loves your accent. So let's go ahead and tell her where that accent stems from.
Oh my God, that accent, you won't find it anywhere else. You'll not find it anywhere else because I'm such a blend. Um, I'm Haitian American. I grew up the first 12 years of my life. I was in Haiti. I went to school in Haiti. I learned to speak and write in Creole and in French. And then I transitioned into the US when I was 12. And then I did all my secondary education in the US. But I am so attached to my Haitian culture that I never stopped speaking the language. Most people that come at my age end up forgetting their native language. But I'm so attached and so well grounded into my culture that I actually still speak it very fluently and write it very fluently. It surprises a lot of people. So that's exactly why my accent is still well and alive.
Yes, it is. And
Thank
I
you for
love it.
asking.
Yes. That is really good. So tell me this, did your parents come over with you at that age? Are they still here or what?
Well, half and half. So my
Mhm.
father was already in the States. My mom was still living in Haiti. So my mom basically sent me to live with my dad while she still lives and continued to live in Haiti until 10 years later. So the first 10 years I was living with my dad only. And then in 2012, that's when my mom finally migrated permanently to the US. And today she's a proud grandmother of three.
All by, like, how
She's
many do you have?
I have three. I
You
have
have,
three children.
all right. So you made her a grandma.
I made her a grandma. I am her only daughter. I'm her only child. And I made her a grandma. So it's now she have four kids, me and my three little ones.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Congratulations, Mom.
Yes, she's
I am not a,
watching. Hi,
oh,
mom.
hi, Mom. Listen, I don't have any grandchildren yet. I say yet, but I have 9 children.
You have natural. They're being. Are they being lazy? What are they
I
doing?
don't know. I don't know. The
Join us on this side. Come on
Thank
over
you.
to my side.
Right. I need all the help I can get. So thank you for that. All right. Oh, she said that's a culture to be very proud of. Haiti was
Yes,
never conquered, she said.
yes, we are. We are a very strong nation.
And then the other one says, I hear the story a lot from those who have come here. How did you stomach after a mother out of the country? How did you stomach having a mother out of the country? That was my question too, at such a young age. I'm sorry.
Listen, she was my motivation. My purpose. I felt like I had a purpose to give back home.
Oh, wow.
So it drove me to become independent. I didn't need to be told to study. I didn't need to be told to do well in school. It was like I had a mission. I felt like I was on a mission
Mm,
to establish
mhm,
something in order to bring my family
mhm.
to the States so we can all be together again.
I
I
love
felt
that.
like I was the bridge to
Mhm,
make that connection, that reunification happen again. So that was my motivation. It was tough. It was tough not having a mother as an adolescent. I was only 12. So from age 12 to 22, it was my father and my brother and my sister that we all had just, gotten to know each other at the time. It was, and I was learning a new language. Now, mind you, I had just migrated. I'm a Creole speaker, and I'm in school with all these other kids who make fun of my accent. But the story didn't end there because I became a teacher myself. I became a biology teacher, and no one, no one can make my English learners feel bad or make fun of my English learners in my class because I told them my story. I said, well, I also have an accent. I was in this kid's position 20 years ago.
mhm.
Okay. I didn't know English. I had just migrated from another country. I had to learn to pass the um all the tests, all the exams. At the time we had FCAT in Florida. I don't know if y'all remember. Shout out to Florida public school. So yeah, we had the FCAT. I don't think it's there anymore. But it's always replaced by something else. They call it differently. Um, so yeah, my students, they know that I said, well, they speak more than one language. That's what it means. So we have we I teach a lot of cultural sensitivity
Mm.
when it comes to my classroom. So my students have respect for people of different background and respect other people's culture.
Very good. So, do you have a mentor or a coach? Who was the one that helped you reach that point in your life where your accent wouldn't affect you or what people think about you um, as
It
you
wasn't
climb
always
the
that
ladder?
way.
Hmm.
It wasn't always that way. I would say it would probably take up to the time I went to college. So after high school, I went to college. I minored in biology. I would say my life experience um taught me to be confident, like not to limit myself to how I speak, but actually to see it. Okay, so in the workforce, I started seeing a lot of positions that are saying we need people that speak more than one language.
Right.
We
Yeah.
need people that are bilingual. We need people to do this. So I started to see it as a superpower and an asset. It
Very
could
good.
essentially give me more opportunities and open more doors for me, the fact that I speak another language. And what a lot of people don't think about, speaking another language is not the only thing that comes from a culture. it also comes from the experience that you gain from living in another country,
Mm-hmm.
the resources you had to develop. Your problem solving skills are
Mm-hmm.
different because you
Mm-hmm.
had different experience. So all of that, when we talk about diversity, it's not just food and it's not just language, but it's also mindset, and thought processes are also diverse based on experiences and background.
That's perfectly said. Thank you so much. All right. She said, at what point in your life did you realize your hard work was paying off? When did you start gaining revenue in your profession?
Immediately, well, I realized when my mission was accomplished, and the mission was accomplished when I was able to bring my mother back to the US to permanently to live with me. So I studied, I went to school. While I was going to school, I worked part time in a laboratory at a hospital in Miami. So I worked part time at a hospital, and I was able to get my first apartment. uh my entrepreneurship and um skills, I think it definitely originated from watching my dad, because my dad always had room for rents. My dad was Airbnb before there was Airbnb. Okay. My dad always had a room for rent in his house. And I grew up with my dad having owning two fat single family home, one for rent and one where we stayed. And even the house where we stayed, there was renters inside the rooms. So I always, the house was paying for itself pretty much. So I think that that was a wonderful concept, which is essentially what I'm doing today in real estate. And what I encourage people to do is that's one way to earn passive income. um so I always teach my clients, okay, once you have your own single family home, you've secured that. Let's think about how we can become landlords and have multiple investment properties that you can rent out, because there's always going to have people who need to rent. Everybody doesn't just start out owning unless it was an inheritance, right? So there's always going to be people who need to rent. So we provide that. We serve a need while also supporting ourselves doing it. I cannot hear you, Miss Sandra.
All right. I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
I can. I can hear you now.
I said, I want to welcome Dawn Majesty on the show. She also has an accent. I think hers is in England, but I'm not sure. So, Dawn, please tell us in the comments where you're from. But she interviewed me on the red carpet and she's on the show tonight. So, I want to say welcome to her.
Oh, welcome. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody who's in the chat. I'm
Yes,
so
she
glad
said
you're here
yes.
with us.
Yeah, she's from England. That's right. I thought I picked it up. And she has a wonderful accent. Oh God, they're giving you compliments and they're saying they love your smile. The second
Oh,
you
y'all
started
making me blush.
talking, you bringing your mother to the U.S. That's another plus. Oh, they're loving you. She says she's from the U.K. Exactly. Thank you so much for all of your questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right. But we're going to dive into the ones that we have prepared. We're going to talk about real estate because a lot of people think that it's very difficult to own your own home. We want to let you know that it's easier than you think, correct?
With preparation and
Yes.
the right coach on your side.
I
Okay.
love that.
And one of the people you're going to want on your side is a realtor who's patient,
Mhm.
and who can guide you through the process. Okay. So there's before, during, and maybe even after. So one of the things you need to start thinking about when deciding to buy a home, first you have to start being responsible with your budget. You have to set a budget. You have to be aware of how much you make and how much you spend. Okay. One of the apps, I know a lot of the banking apps does it. One of the apps that I love is an app called Mint. It's actually owned by QuickBooks. It's the same company that owns QuickBooks and TurboTax. Um, it's called Mint, 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 like the leaf, the herb. It's a great app because you can just connect all your cards or your credit cards or your bank accounts to the app, and it categorizes all your expenses, so you can see exactly how much you spend on groceries every month. You can see how much you spend on car payment every month. You can see how much you spend on restaurants. You can see it categorize all the expenses, so you can see where your money is going, and then it tallies it, and it tells you if you spent more than you made. Okay. Because if you're using a credit card, it's easy to spend more than you make because you have a high credit limit on your card that could be more than your monthly income. So it shows you a clear picture. It shows you at the end of the month if you were positive or negative. If you're negative at the end of the month, that means you're spending more money than you're bringing in. So we need to go back and figure out how we can change that, either by making more money or reducing your expense. Okay.
And
So
so,
budget is very important.
with that being said, you do offer employment in your company if someone is looking to become a realtor, right?
That is correct. We are a team over here. I could not do this by myself. So I have a team of realtors where we all work together to help families not only buy but also sell their homes when needed. Um, One of the reasons why people sell is they're moving, right? Sometimes people move out of state, they're moving to another location, so they need to sell. Another reason people need to sell is when they outgrow their current home. So if you have a growing family and you need more space, you also need to get a bigger home. So that's another reason why you want to sell your current property. We also have people that are downsizing, like empty nesters who have adult children that have moved out, and now you have an extra 2 bedrooms inside your house that you're not using, and you don't need the space. Now there's something you can do. You could rent out these rooms and produce income, um, or you can downsize to like a condo or a smaller square footage house. So that's other reasons why we also help people who also want to sell their homes.
Very good. All right, audience. Do you own your home or rent your home? We need to know.
Tell us. We need to know, because I need to know who I'm talking to tonight. If all of you are already homeowners, okay, you already have your first investment, which is your personal home. We probably need to focus more on how you can diversify, and who wants to increase their net worth.
So listen, Sharon, she's from Detroit, and she says, I have a 6 bedroom house in Detroit for sale. So if you want a 6 bedroom house, come on now, put it in the chat.
Who wants a 6 bedroom house for sale? What's the listed price, Sharon? How much is it listed for?
Sharon, can you ask her because you froze a little bit? So
I
ask the
did.
question again.
Sharon, how much is
Yes.
the house in Detroit listed for?
All
Is
right.
it on the MLS? Is it listed on the MLS?
And then Dawn says she has a home with 3 extra bedrooms in it. Wow.
3 extra bedrooms? Okay. So you can, I always recommend if you are going to rent your house, a room inside your house, one way you can do it is um, using a company like Airbnb, or you can also do it by making sure you do a background check on the people that are coming to live in your home. You're allowed to select um, what type of person you want living inside your home because you're sharing the space with them. So that's perfectly fine. And you can start earning passive income and also turning your house into an investment and a producing income producing investment.
So she says she can't due to homeowners restrictions.
And oh, you have a homeowner association.
Yeah, and then she says she's looking to sell.
You're looking to sell. Okay, so when you look to sell, then we might want, that's one thing that we want to consider when you're buying your next house, whether you're going to have those restrictions in that area. What state are you in?
What state are you in now, Dawn? And then Sharon said it was 330,000.
6 bedroom for 330,000. Who's in Detroit? I'm in Indianapolis.
Yes. All right. So Dawn is in Georgia.
Darn is in Georgia.
Mhm.
Hey, hello. I One of my mentors is in Georgia.
All right.
Yes, one of my mentors is in Georgia. We all brokered by EXP Realty, my brokerage. I mean, if I have anyone here on the show tonight who's also a realtor or you're an aspired realtor, I 100% vouch for EXP Realty. The level of support and mentorship that I get, I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. I have mentors and people that are genuinely interested in seeing me grow and watching me and helping me create and help more people and get more families to become owners. It's like I'm so happy. um the trainings, so much trainings going on. And what I loved about it, what drew me to that brokerage, is the fact that I can do it all um virtually. um I have a home office. My managing broker has um, an office as well, that where all the legalities and things are taken care of. But us agents, we're mobile. So when I met with Miss Sandra, I was supposed to meet with Miss Sandra. I told her, "Hey, let's meet at Panera Bread."
Right.
Okay, we're mobile, so I come to you. Where you are. And we can meet at a Starbucks, we can meet at a Panera Bread, we can find a local public place where we sit down and talk, because I always do a questionnaire before I start helping you. I want to know about you. I want to know what are the things that are important to you. So, like our guest said tonight, if you're thinking about renting rooms inside your place, I would like to know that, because when we're looking, I want to make sure that we're not going to be restricted by HOAs and things like that. Also, we also want to make sure we're in compliance with any sort of lending that you're receiving, especially if you're receiving down payment assistance and things like that. We want to make sure that we stay compliant. A lot of people love talking about down payment assistance. I'm not sure if we want to go into that right now
Not right
or
now.
continue.
Continue because all right. So she says I
We're
have
still
two.
on we're still on step number one,
I
budget.
know, I know,
That
and
was
we
only
got to move
budgeting.
along. We got to
We're
move
just
on.
budgeting.
All right. So also, she says she have two houses in Belize for vacational rental properties. One is ready, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Other ready in January. Then Victoria says, I am renting, but I want to buy so bad. I also want to create passive income by getting into the Airbnb business as a realtor. What are your thoughts on Airbnbs?
Um, we stopped using. I use the word Airbnb for marketing purposes only. because it became a household term. You say Airbnb, everybody knows what you're talking about. Um, but the real business term is short-term rental. And I want you to understand that, because you want to use Airbnb as a marketing platform, but how many business owners only use just one single marketing platform? If you're a business owner and you're using only one marketing platform, we need to talk, because you need to use all the platforms that are available to you, at least 3 to 4. Um, so Airbnb, saying I want to own Airbnb, is a household term, but it's not a business success term, because you don't want to just post your house only on Airbnb. You want to have knowledge of all the different platforms that are out there, where you can advertise your property, which will in turn increase the visibility that you get, which will increase your bookings. Okay.
Can
So
you?
if you're only on one platform, that means you're dependent on that single platform to run your business.
Can you name another platform? Because to be honest with you, Airbnb hit the market running, and that's the only term I really know.
Okay. There are others that were there before Airbnb. Airbnb is like, I compare Airbnb to Uber. There were taxis and cabs before Uber. But what Uber did, it brought it to an app. And it allowed you to track the location, and people were fascinated by that. I can see where they are, I can see how far they are. So we like control. So Airbnb did something similar. But there are other platforms, like booking.com is a big one. Booking, there's Verbal, there is even rental.com, there is
Mm.
Furnish Finder. There are a lot of housing or short-term rental. Airbnb basically branded itself as the vacation rental homes
Mhm.
platform. So you'll find a lot of vacationers who book Airbnb.
All
Um,
right.
yes.
Thank you. And your sister is on. She says she's so proud of you.
Which one of my sisters?
Carrie
Oh,
Elsie.
Carrie's my brother.
Oh, I'm
Hi,
sorry. I'm so
Carrie.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Carrie. I'm gonna meet you and make it up. All right, I'll make it up to you.
Carrie's my brother. Carrie's been in the business longer than me. He's been a realtor for more than 20 years now. And yeah, I looked up to him. I still do. And he's here with me, but he's not live on the show, but he's watching. Hi, Carrie.
Wow. So what advice will you give Dawn? She said she was renting. She had Airbnbs for approximately 2 months. She was reported and had to quit. She said, but it was doing quite successful until she had to stop. She said, I didn't even realize I could have rented out.
Well, another option is you can always do long-term rental. Like people, well, if you have restriction with your HOA, you might not be able to. Well, here's the thing. The HOA is concerned about safety. Essentially, a lot of places will allow renters if you can clarify for them that there will be a background check done. That's why we don't essentially only have to use the term Airbnb,
Mhm.
because it's in the concern is in the procedure that you're using to get that tenant into, or the guest into the house. So are you did you talk you could talk to your HOA and say, I understand the safety concerns, but what if I provided and made sure that my guests, I run a background check on all my guests. Sometimes that's all it takes. I've spoken to apartment managers where that was the only concern. When they told me, no, you cannot do Airbnb in this property. But if you know, the right question to ask is it a safety concern? Yes, Airbnb doesn't do a background check. Well,
Mm.
what if I took the responsibility to make sure? What if I made sure that I gave you a background check on every single guest coming into this property? Um, and they might say, okay, I'm listening, because this may have been the only concern. So that's one of the primary reasons why certain neighborhoods do not allow it, is because of um they don't want you to run it like a hotel where anybody comes and go. They want to make sure that everybody has a clean record who lives there.
Very good. So they're listing some of the platforms out there, and
All of my guests are background checked. I background Airbnb doesn't do it, and that's the
mhm.
reason why we run short-term rentals. We don't run Airbnbs. Airbnb doesn't do background checks, but I do a background check for my guests.
Wow. She said, did having a father and a brother already in the business make it easier for you to enter the business? That's a good question.
It was definitely an inspiration. Is it was definitely an inspiration, but I had to do the work myself.
Mm, exactly.
I had to
You
do the
had
work
to
myself.
take all the tests. Yes.
I had to take all the tests. I had to find out. I had to find out what I can or cannot do. I had to find out where the restrictions are. I had to find out what type of restrictions, hurdles that I can come across, and how to overcome them.
Mhm. All right, audience, do you own or rent? We need to know that. Please put it in the comment section. Do you own or rent? All right. And then what has been your hesitation with purchasing your own home? If you are not a homeowner, tell us what your hesitation is so we can help you. All right. What will it
Yes.
take for them to begin the process for home ownership?
Okay. Besides budgeting, which we went on a tangent on,
Right.
um, once you figure out what your budget is, you know where you stand financially, you have a source of income or two or three. Um, or maybe you have a co-borrower that's going to, usually if you're married, that will be your spouse, sometimes siblings or family members. The next step is you want to contact a realtor. And we can pretty much guide you from there, because we have a team that's going to help you with getting the funding. If you come with the pre-approval already, that's great. We can work with that. It's not required. But if you don't know anybody or you don't know what to do, um, one of the first things that we'll do with you is refer you to a lending company that we trust, who's going to help you with getting funded for a mortgage, assuming that you're not paying cash. Which I do have buyers who want to buy properties cash. Maybe they just sold a previous home and they want to use that towards a new home or their savings. So they want to buy a fixer upper that they can pay cash for. That's also an option. But if you need a mortgage, then we'll refer you to a lending company that's going to get you pre-approved. And the pre-approval process is basically your paperwork, financial status. So the lender wants to know financial status because they're about to lend you funds for the next 15 to 30 years. So they want to know that you're reliable, you're dependable, and you're responsible to pay that money back. So they want to know if you've been working for the last 2 years consistently with not too many gaps in between. Because if you've had 5 6 jobs in the last 2 years, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it definitely show them that you're higher risk.
Mhm.
And if you have large gaps in between, then it shows them that you may miss payments because you have so many gaps in between your employments. So you want to have consistent income and employment. If you're self-employed, we want to see consistent deposits coming into your business account. Um, that's also your income. We also the lenders will also want to see your um, your tax return. If you're a business owner, they want to see how much. Now for my business owners, let me just say, we have the income that we make that comes into the business, and then we start doing a lot of deductions, and then the gross income is not the same as what we actually keep. So you want to show that you have a profitable company. um when you're getting ready to buy a home, um the year before that, you want to make sure yes, you should take advantage of deductions and stuff, but don't overdo it, because it's going to reduce your justifiable income. So you want to be mindful of that so that every penny counts, to show how much you make, because the amount that you're going to be lended is based on how much you make. So they want to see that you can pay it back.
All right, that was really good. The best time to buy real estate has always been what?
5 years ago.
so so we're late. We're behind the eight ball. What
You're
can we
behind.
do?
If you're still thinking about it, you're 5 years late. If you're just
We're
now
trying
thinking about it, you're 5 years late. 5 years
and,
late. Should have
and
started in kindergarten.
kindergarten. Oh my gosh. All right, she says, can you define justifiable income? But I want to make a point to that. Yes, we're late, but I want to tell the audience that it's never too late to start, right? I want you to have your dream home. And what will it take for you to get your dream home? I want you to tell us in the chat what you need help with, what has been your hesitation, and what are your questions that you've always wanted to ask a realtor. You have the perfect one right here in front of your face, and she's free tonight only.
I'm
So
free. I just made myself free for all of you. Like I just cleared my schedule. Nothing else. Nowhere else to go.
she said you knew that one with the quickness. All right, justifiable income.
Oh, you want me to explain what that means?
Correct.
Justifiable income. Um, I forgot the terms. I think I want Carrie to help me because he's the tax preparer.
All right.
He's been doing my taxes forever. So Carrie, remind me the difference between the full income that someone makes, and then after the deduction, there is the amount that's left that you're gonna get taxed on. The amount that's left that you get taxed on. Write it in the chat, my tax expert. Okay. So yeah, so that's the difference. When you have a business, even if it's a side hustle, um, a lot of people work a job and then they have a business, so they report their business income on their tax. So what happened is sometimes your tax preparer will ask you, well, even as a teacher, they would tell me, did you buy any school supplies for your students? We can deduct that from your taxes. We can deduct that. Did any expenses that you make, advertising, if you advertise for your company, you can deduct that from your taxes. What it does is it lowers your taxable income. So you end up paying tax on a smaller amount, not the gross amount that you make. But guess what? When you are applying for a loan, they're going to look at that smaller amount after the deductions, because you're saying that I spent that money, I didn't keep it in my pocket. So we cannot count on that money because you're telling us that you spent it. It was not part of you didn't keep that money. So we cannot qualify you based on on the whole amount that was received. We're gonna qualify you based on the amount that you kept. So the more deductions that you make on your tax, the lower your justifiable income is when you're getting qualified for a loan.
And you were stating one of your points is it's on the screen. Can you see it?
Yes. Yes, our team, okay, guiding you through the home buying process. So, one of our team members is a loan officer that we refer you to. Okay, you want to have a loan officer. So, the loan officer helps you get pre qualified. Okay, so you get pre qualified. We know exactly how much that you can afford to buy, whether that's 300,000 or 300 million. Okay, so we tell you, so the lender tells you, okay, I'm able to qualify you for this much. That way, we're not wasting time looking at homes that we can't afford. We're not daydreaming. We're not dreamers. We are investors, and we have a purpose. We have a purpose. So we're not wasting time looking at houses we cannot afford, because as you waste time looking at houses you can't afford, somebody else is buying the one that you can.
I love that. Oh, I love that.
So we don't want to waste time looking at homes and daydreaming. We have the pre-approval, and we go looking based on that budget. Okay, that's why budget is important. That way, when we find the house that we want, we're able to make an offer. And sellers take you very seriously when you have that pre-approval letter. They say that person is ready. They're not just putting in offers, but they're ready. They have a bank, an institution backing them up, saying, I looked at this person credit profile, I looked at this person financial profile, and they are ready to purchase a home for I'm willing to give them this amount for the purchase of this home. So sellers look at this they take it very seriously. You're ready, you're a serious buyer.
In this economy, are the banks willing to take a chance with
Taking
loaning?
chance.
With loaning, I was watching the news today, and it was saying that the banks are, skeptical due to the current economy.
The bank makes money when they lend. That's how they make money. They make money off the interest that we pay. So if the bank is not lending, that means they're not making money. Now, the bank may have, what the bank is always going to do is it's going to have tighter restrictions. It's not going to stop lending, but the bank wants to reduce its risk. So the bank is going to have tighter restriction, is going to have higher requirements. Okay. So for example, if you make 2,000 a month, the bank doesn't want to give you a mortgage for 1,800 a month. Okay. So they're going to say, okay, if you make 2,000 a month, I'm willing to lend you
A
well,
percentage.
this is a percentage that you can
Hmm.
afford, and
Hmm.
your approval is going to be based on that. Okay.
Cool.
Now the approval they give you may not match your taste in
Mm.
homes and preferences. I heard someone say the other day you might have caviar taste on a canned tuna budget.
Oh, Lord. All right. So Sharon is asking, do you have the license to sell a home in Michigan?
I am currently licensed in Indiana. However, my EXP team is wide. I have a team of realtors that I know in my brokerage who are licensed in what state? Michigan.
Michigan. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. They're licensed in all 50 states. Not me personally, but I'll be more than happy to talk to some of them that I know, and then I will see which one is the best fit. First, I would like to talk to you first, okay, to see what your needs are and what you need, and then I will go and talk to a few of my colleagues who are licensed in Michigan, and I will be able to make that match. So just call me the matchmaker. Just call
I
me the
love it.
real just call me the real estate matchmaker. I'll be more than happy to make that match for you and refer you to a licensed realtor in Michigan to help you.
That's phenomenal. All right, you all, it's time for you to like and share this stream and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Do you find this information useful? Like, who do you know would benefit from participating in this program tonight?
All right, you heard
If
the
you think of
question.
someone, just share the link with them.
Right. And so, what we want you to do, if you have a referral, you know someone that's in Indiana or someone anywhere in the globe, over the globe, you want to reach out to Miss Alce, and she will direct you to the people that be that can make that happen. All right.
Yes, my
All right.
team. I have team members in Canada, all 50 states. One of my mentors in the Georgia area, um, and we're just a team. We collaborate. Like for example, I had one of my team members who had someone moving from Tennessee to Indiana, and she's not licensed in Indiana, so she got on the group chat that we have and she told me, Judeline, can you take this client? She's moving to Indiana from Tennessee. So I'm entrusting her in your hands, into your hands. And we were able to guide this client in Indiana. So we have a network of trusted professionals that I can refer you to anywhere you are.
Very good. Now, your homeowners, whom you cherish so dearly and you want to prosper, in the next 5 years, where do you see your homeowners?
I want my homeowners to have their own homes, earning equity. So let's imagine, just close your eyes. Let's imagine that you purchase a house in 2008, okay, for, I don't know, 150K. Okay. Now let's fast forward to today. Okay. The house that you bought for 125K is now worth, let's say, 350. Okay. Um, and what that is the value went up. The house is worth more than you bought it for. Um, do you know what home equity is? Have you ever learned of a home equity line of credit, also known as HELOC? Um, I'm also a mobile closer for some title companies where I go and I help people um, who wants to refinance and cash out equity from their homes. So I had a similar example last week where a gentleman homeowner was pulling out 125,000 equity from his home as line of credit. And that money comes to your personal account
Mhm.
and you're free to invest it or spend it or do whatever you want with it. Start a business, start a company, um, or as you see fit. So that's the power. That's what you will never, that's some of the benefits you'll never get as a renter. Okay. Your landlord will get that benefit of their homes gaining equity. And they also have the power to refinance and cash out the money. Which brings me to I didn't see you guys answers, but how many people on here tonight are concerned about the interest rates of owning a home?
I know I
Just
am.
let us know. Is the interest rate, today's interest rate, which could be a around 7%, um, is that one of your main concerns for not becoming an owner this year?
That's a good question. Put your answer in the comment section and we'll put it on the screen for you. The question is, um, are you concerned about today's interest rate? Let us know, all right? We have a bonus question while we're waiting for their answers. And that's the one you just asked. So this question is the next question. Why is it important to own a home, to be a homeowner?
The benefits, the benefits that comes with it. We mentioned the equity, the property value overall will grow. You may have a market correction and then it goes back up. Okay. We may have a correction, but and then it goes back up. So you're over time, you're gaining equity and the value becomes higher than what you pay for it. So it's a passive investment. You don't have to do anything. Life and inflation is gonna do what it does. The value of your home is going to grow. And then you can either sell it for more or you can pull out the equity via an equity line of credit alone, or you can refinance. So, which brings me, yeah. So these are some of the benefits. You also get tax exemptions um, from being a homeowner. That comes with being an owner alone. So you get those benefits as well.
Oh, wow. So before we answer that question, Victoria is saying, I am confused on the responsibilities. I would have as a homeowner. Previously, it just felt like a gray area for me. I want to say thank you for shining a light into such a daunting topic.
Oh, I resonate with you. I cannot tell you. I mean, I'm going to be transparent and tell you I had the exact same concerns before I purchased my home. Um, you can't imagine I can't believe the excuses that we were making before we made that decision. We literally had cold feet even while after we started the process. So one of the things we were worried about is having a higher electric bill. We're
Mm.
like, well, we're in this small little house now, and if we move into a bigger house, we buy a house, we're gonna have high electric bill. But the reality is, our electric bill um, did not budge much because the house that we bought had higher energy efficiency appliances, which actually saved us on utility bills, as
Mm.
opposed to typically rental homes are older with older model appliances that are not as energy efficient. So we're actually using more energy in a smaller house than we're using now due to the efficiency of the appliances. So that was a misconception. So we had misconceptions when it comes to the responsibilities that come with it. And I mean, you end up paying. I always say what you don't pay with your money, you end up paying with your time.
Mhm.
So you end up paying for these possible maintenance. The maintenance, when people complain about why rent is so high, well,
Mhm.
the homeowner is passing on the maintenance costs, the possible maintenance costs that may come, even if it doesn't come yet, but they're making you pay for it in advance. It's factored in because when something and if something breaks down, they know they will be responsible to fix it. So they factor in that cost into your rent. What if you were the owner and you discipline yourself to set the money aside and fix things yourself when it happens? So either way, you're paying for the responsibilities already.
Wow. Sharon says she refinanced twice. Great benefits. What does that mean?
The benefits of refinancing goes hand in hand with what I wanted to talk about. Um, a lot of times people refinance, it basically means you are um, taking out a new loan, and the new company that you are taking the loan from is paying off your previous loan. Okay. So you're refinancing with a new lender. Um, Now, the benefits that comes with refinancing is you're in control, you're qualified for the current rate. So
Mhm.
let's say you purchase a home today at 7% interest rate, and next year the mortgage rates go down, you can refinance. So what you would do is you would benefit from the new rates that are available. If that's 3%, 2.5%, you would be able to refinance at the current rate, um, which would save you money in the interest payments in the long run.
All right, we're going to pause to be a blessing. We're going to give you a golden opportunity, yes, to be a blessing to the show so we can have more productive shows as well. You can gift a small token of 10, 15, 20, 25, or $50 via Cash App, dollar sign, Journey with a capital J, Journey into Purpose. Journey into Purpose is a LLC as well, and we help women and children. You can also use your PayPal, Journey into Purpose 22 at gmail.com. This is just a small break. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say I love Journey into Purpose. Um, we prayed before starting the show, y'all. Like we prayed for you. We prayed for you to have clarity. We prayed for the information that I'm giving out to be resourceful and helpful and useful for every single one of our guests in the audience tonight. That was my and Miss Sandra's prayer right before we went live.
Exactly. So take the time to send in a donation. I often like to say, sow a small seed, reap a great harvest, because it's more blessed to give than to receive. You know, my cousin made a statement in Detroit, Michigan, and she said, Sandra, God will not allow you to do more for him than he does for you. So we're going to give you a golden opportunity just to send in the token of love. You can also donate stars. How about that? You can donate stars to Sandra's Authors Forum. I'm so excited about that. And guess what? Victoria is our number one star giver. I want to take the time
I
tonight
love
to
thank
tell
you
Victoria,
so much, Victoria.
yes, Victoria, she gives stars practically every show. So we just want to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go back to the questions. Well, let's do this because she's putting everything on the screen. She's saying, um, all right, you could do that, but I want to do
Do
Judeline.
they have my contact information?
Yes, that's what we're doing. Um, she put it on. All right, here you go. All right. So if you want to call Judeline, you can reach her by area code 812-955-0052. That number allows you to leave a text message or a voicemail message. All right. And you can reach her. She will return your call as soon as possible. She is a realtor that you can trust. I love that. Whether you want to buy, get into a home business, or are confused on your plan for the future, reach out to take control of your tomorrow. Call Judeline. That is awesome. Again, we're going to say the number is 812-955-0052, and it will be in your chat. You can take down the number there as well. All right. So, she said, thank you. She's so grateful for the show tonight. And
Oh, I look forward to. Well, a disclaimer is, you we might end up staying friends. You know, if you decide to text me or call me, we might end up staying long term friends. So you have to be ready. You have to be ready to have a long term friend because I'm so passionate about what I do. And I like to get to know people for who they are so I can best assist them. So that's the risk you're taking.
oh, that's awesome. So, can you discuss real estate rates? Mm.
Um, I can go briefly into it. What do you want to know? I'm not a mortgage specialist. So I do have maybe if she's here, I think I might put her on the spot. Maybe we might have another section with a session with a mortgage specialist
Mhm.
who's more qualified than I am to talk about funding and rates and all the different programs that are available, especially in our state. Some programs are nationwide, you know, like we know about the Federal Housing Administration, FHA. Uh, FHA is backed by the an FHA loan is backed by the federal government. What it allows you is that it allows you to have a less strict criteria to qualify for the loan. So a conventional loan is more strict. So an FHA loan will qualify you with a lower credit score than a conventional loan. So a typical FHA loan will ask for a minimum of 580 credit score, just 580. Like unless you had something crazy happen, A lot of people have at least a 580, and it allows you to become a homeowner at that with that credit score. It also allows you to put down a lesser amount up front, which is the down payment with an FHA. If you qualify, it will allow you to put down as little as 3.5% down, to own your home, to purchase your home. A conventional loan is around 5% and up. Um, so less money up front, okay, um, is backed by the federal government, lower credit score requirement for an FHA loan.
All right. Is it too late for a person that's older to purchase a home? And then answer this one. When should a young couple invest in a family home?
For the older person, I want to know what are their goals. Um, what are their goals? Meaning, where do they see themselves in the next 5 to 10 years? Do they see themselves going into a retirement home? Do they see themselves moving into with an adult child? So what are their goals? Does it make sense? Because if they're not planning to be independent much longer, then it doesn't. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to buy a home and then have to sell it quickly before it gain value, because then you'll be at a loss. There are a lot of fees that come with selling a home, and you need to make sure that there is enough cushion to afford those fees and still make a profit. So you have to really sit down and talk with your family. Make sure you have a power of attorney. Um, Make sure you have a will, and your children know what to do if you were to become incapacitated. And that way they can better assist you. But definitely have a clear plan of how long you're planning to live in that home. Okay. If it's less than 5 years, then you're probably not going want to buy. That will be my advice for the elderly couple. And I believe your other question was for a new um is it legal to resell? Which question are you asking me? I'm seeing so many questions. Can we get grants that make home buying easier? Oh, great question, Victoria. Yes. Um, there are grants, also known as down payment assistance. Um, and of course, anytime someone's giving you money, they have conditions attached to them. Okay. So you have to be willing to adhere to those conditions that would usually be given with those down payment assistance. One of the things is, some down payments assistance program would require you to go to some type of education and take a certain a course. So you have to create and dedicate the time to complete those courses. They're like financial management courses, financial education courses, things like that. They want you to get certified, so to speak, in order to qualify. Another condition that you may have is they might a down payment assistance program might tell you that you have to live in the house for a certain number of years. It could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, where you have to live in the home and you also cannot refinance. So you have to make sure that you know what the conditions are for you, and that it makes sense for you before you accept any sort of down payment assistance, because I guarantee you there will always be conditions attached to them. So make sure you know what they are and that it works for your case. It works for a lot of people. There are people that are buying a house, they want to live there for 15 years. Worst case scenario is if you break those conditions, then the grant automatically becomes payable. You have to pay it back. I think you're muted now, Miss Sandra.
I
I
was trying to
cannot.
give you, yeah, I was trying to give you time to clearly answer. I said, so you have to pay it back in full.
Yes, if you break the conditions, because there will be conditions attached to that grant when you purchase it, when you accept it.
Right.
So you have to know what they are. You have to talk to your lender. You have to know what they are. Are they saying you cannot have a business in the house? Are they saying you have to live here for 5 years? Um, what are the terms to receive that grant?
I have a quick question. In
Mhm.
the state of Indiana, do they have spaces for you to rent out for a business?
Do you have spaces for you to rent out of? I'm not understanding.
So if you don't have a physical brick and mortar business, but you need an address for your business, do you have places where they rent out spaces?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's like office spaces. I've never used one, but that's one of the benefits that I have with my brokerage at EXP. We do have like a shared office space company that we can go and work. Yes, yes, we do have that. Although I've never personally used one, but I know they exist and it's definitely available for me to use.
Cool. Why is it legal to resell a home if it's already paid for, but the homeowner deceased? Good question.
Or is it because the bank wants their money?
So the bank already received their money because the house is paid in full, right? And so the homeowner's deceased and they don't have anyone to leave it to, say for instance, right? And then that house goes back on the market, but houses are paid for and then they go back on the market, correct?
Um, I'm not sure exactly what we need to understand from this question. I
All right.
think she's rephrasing it. What happens when a parent passes away and they haven't paid off their loan? Does the home and the loan go to the children?
All
Okay.
right.
What it means, when you sign a mortgage, basically what a mortgage is a lien on your house. A lien is um the bank having authority to repossess the property if you stop making payments or if the original owner passes away. So that's the reason why they always do an appraisal to see what the value of the home is. Because essentially, what they're saying is if that person did not pay me my money back, I can repossess the house and I can sell it and get my money back. So the money that they're lending you has to be the equivalence of what the property is worth itself. Okay, so the lender will make sure of that. Um, so now let me see the question again. I
All
forgot
right.
where I was going with this.
All right.
Can you go back? Can you go
Yeah.
back to the previous question?
Yes. What happens when the parents pass away? Does the home and the loan go to the children?
You have options. You have options. Um, you have options. So the children can um take ownership of the home and decide. So it depends if the parent was still making payments on the home or if they already paid it off. Okay, most of the time if they already paid it off, the children have no problem um inheriting the house. They have the option to sell it or live in it, right? But if there is a loan, the person who's going to benefit from that inheritance must take responsibility for the payments,
Mm.
or the bank have to foreclose. Okay, so the bank will foreclose and they will sell the property to somebody else. But the children will always have the next in kin will always have the option to keep making the payments and keep
Does
the
it go
money.
to probate or anything like that?
If you don't have a trust, it will.
And so let's talk
Um,
about the
that's
trust.
why we talk about trust.
Mhm.
If there is no trust in place and the state is making the decision, it will go into probate, and then you have to pay a whole lot of money to get it out of probate,
Mhm.
to get ownership transfer, to get it transferred to your name. So you don't automatically, you have the right to own it, but the legal process is not automatic. So you have to go through a legal process to transfer the ownership to your name when the previous owner is deceased and died. By the way, this is not realtor advice. I'm only speaking on this subject because I am a licensed financial professional, um, who can also speak on matters of inheritance and retirement plans and things like that. So this is not, this is a little opening. This is not the realtor speaking, because that's really outside of our expertise as a simple realtor. I would just have to refer you to a lawyer.
So we talked about credit scores, and we had that down here. You just talked about real estate, assets, and the trust. Um, who is qualified to purchase a home, and what age would that be?
That's the age of 18, because that's when you are allowed to sign a contract. So yes, you have to be 18, or have someone who's 18 co-signing it with you. And I understand that there are times where a parent can get it on their names and stuff like that. But you have to be 18 to have a valid contract. So you need to be 18 years of age for the most
Scenario,
part.
and we're getting ready to go. And Elsie, Miss Elsie, is going to say a prayer for our audience. If you want to be a home buyer, please put it in the comment section. We want to know who's on. If you want to be a home buyer, stay tuned because Elsie is going to say a prayer for you. All right. Put it in the comment section. And guess what? Prayers come through on my show. I don't know about
Yes,
no
they
other
do.
show.
Yes,
Prayers
they
come
do.
through on my show, right?
Right.
So you want to put your request, make it known. Just like he said, write it up on the tables of your heart, right? Write it up on the table so they that read it
We
will
are
run.
believing with you that you can do
Oh,
this. You
she
have
put
all
that
the
in there.
tools
Oh wow.
and the knowledge, all the resources that you need to make this happen is already around you. You just have to reach in and take it.
All right. This is going to be the last question. She says, quick question. Judeline, what is something you wanted to talk about knowing that you'd be going live today?
Um, well, I wanted to have something, a tidbit for my current homeowners, because I know some of you here are already homeowners. And as Miss Sandra brought up the concern of probate, a lot of you probably don't know what that means, because thankfully you've never been in that situation. It's a bad situation. It's a burden for loved ones, who has to go through that process, because people assume that when I pass, that my loved ones, well, duh, my kids inherit my house. That's it, because I say so. That's not how the government sees it. They gonna make them prove they know they are a child. They know their name is on your birth certificate, but it doesn't go like, well, this was my mom, this was my dad, so go ahead and take their names off the title and put mine. That is not how it works. So you have to have some legal documents in place to allow that process to go smoothly, or they're going to spend a lot of money in court trying to make it happen, or making it happen. They just have to pay a lot of money to make it happen, um, in time. So one way that you can prevent that, as a financial professional, I would advise that you create what's called a revocable living trust. It costs a few thousands. It costs like, I know a company that does it for $1,000. Create a revocable living trust, and when you contact me, I can definitely put you in touch with them. Um, Only a lawyer, an attorney, can create a revocable living trust. I'm a realtor. I cannot create a trust for you, so I have to refer you to an attorney. Okay, so the attorney will put together a trust for you, and you can use it for all other assets. So what you would do is once the trust is created, you would get what's called a trust certification, and you would take that trust certification to your recorder's office because you're already on the house, it's on your name, and you will take it to the recorder's office and you tell them that you want to transfer the title of the property into this trust, and you would give them the certificate. They will charge you a fee, a small fee. I recall it was probably less than $20. It was like $20, $40. They will record it. So now your home is owned by the revocable living trust, and you still control it. But then what you would do is you have beneficiaries. You can have your kids as beneficiaries into the trust. So it will automatically, every single asset, it could be your bank account, it could be your car, it could be a business, it could be every single asset that you put, that you register in that trust, now becomes legal properties of your beneficiaries when you die. No court fees and no probate.
I love it. So reiterate the name of that, because I would venture to say everyone in the audience needs this. What is it? The the professional name.
Revocable living trust. And
Someone put that in the comment section.
it
Mhm.
is called a living trust because as long as you're alive, you can change it. So you can put assets in and you can take out. You can put in and you can take out. You can change your beneficiaries and you can add new beneficiaries to it. So it's a living trust. As you earn more, you open new accounts, you accumulate more assets, you can edit. All you have to do is contact your lawyer and you can edit and change. That's why it's called a living trust. So it's not set in stone where you cannot make any changes to it.
If you all have been blessed by a plethora of knowledge, I want you to put it in the comment section. I think I need to take off my hat for Miss Elsie because she covered it. She covered it. She gave, oh my gosh, she gave you so much knowledge tonight. And the highlight is the revocable living trust for me. All right. We all need it. That's right. Come on. Come on. Give her her accolades. Living trust supersedes a will or probate. Correct.
It
Yeah.
absolutely does. And I want to explain briefly why. I'm not a lawyer or an attorney, but I can tell you that a will is contestable in court. A will is contestable, meaning a judge can overturn your will. That's what a will is. So a lot of people think a will is, these are my wishes and this is exactly what's going to happen. Not if someone decide to take it to court. Because if they want to take it to court, a judge have the power to overturn your will.
And what we want you to realize is um, when someone deceases, is problematic because the family is at odds and everybody want that property. And so if it's stated in the revocable trust, you have no family drama. And I think um, we owe it to our family to keep down as much as possible when we're gone, because we're not there to mediate. So if we can take, due diligence and set up a revocable living trust, it will be in our interest to do so, uh, for our families as well as ourselves.
It's more, let me tell you, it'll cost your family more money going through probate than it will cost you to create the trust. Let's put it that way.
I know so many people, and I'm going to give a scenario. So there's a family. Um, the mother has, and the mother and father, no, the father has like five sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he marries this woman who has two daughters, right? The father put the daughter over his stuff, which he did not. You see what I'm saying? And so it was so complicated because the five sons were his. and they could not get past the fact, why didn't he leave something to us? But they left one of the older daughters in charge of everything. It caused a whole rift between the family, and they stayed in litigation. And so you're wasting more money hiring an attorney, all right, because all the money that you would have gotten is now split in half, or even more than half. It's going to the attorney. And so this revocable living trust is for our betterment, and I intend on getting one for myself.
Yes,
All right. So
that's
what did Don say? Don said, "Thank you." Um,
you're so welcome, Dawn. And I
yes.
hope everybody here, even if you're not a homeowner yet, I will tell you where to start easy. I'll tell you, start by going into your bank account, log in to mobile banking, and where it says add beneficiaries. How many of you remember adding a beneficiary to your bank account? Most of you probably ignore it because it's not required. It's just a plus sign there that says plus beneficiaries. You can start today. Just start planning your future to make things a little easier.
Now tell me this. Let's. There's another scenario. All right. So say for instance, there's a grandparents, and they have three children, grandchildren, right? And they only leave in their as a beneficiary. They only document two of the children. What happens to that third child legally?
They can contest it. They can contest it in court. That's when a judge is able to make that decision. Um, if it was just a will, if it was just a will. But sadly, if it's a living trust, if it's a trust, then it cannot be contested. That's what solidifies it, sadly. But if it's a will, the other daughter or granddaughter can definitely contest it in court and say, I am equally related, and I have the right to a part of this inheritance.
What if it's a bank account with just beneficiaries?
What if it's a bank account?
Yeah, and they just have beneficiary one and two instead of one, two, and three.
Again, anything goes if nobody has the resources to take it to court.
Mhm.
So as long as the person um did did not contest it, they get away with it. Okay. But if they decided to file charges or open a case, then a judge would listen to them
We want to
and make
thank
a decision.
Africa. South Africa is on, and it is 3:25 a.m. in the morning. And she said, "This is good content."
It's 3 then 5 in the morning. Hello,
Yes,
what country are you watching from? We got Africa in the
South
house.
Africa is
We
in the
are
house.
we are global.
Yes, yes, yes.
We
We
are.
thank you.
How is the housing market in Africa? Do I need to buy a condo there?
Oh, so someone was saying that Dawn was saying that she has properties, and one in the United States, one in the UK, and one, I can't find it really quickly, somewhere else. So that's what I was going
Dawn.
to ask you. Like, is
Text me 812
it?
955 0052.
There it is. Text her 812-955-0052. All right. Um, we should have land, correct?
We should have what?
Land. L A
Own
N.
lands.
Yeah.
Lands is one of the beginner friendly way to start investing in real estate. um it's considered an investment just like a family home. So it's definitely one of the vehicles, one of the ways that someone can invest.
So
Of
Dawn,
course, always make sure you do your research. You want to speak to a professional. You don't want to buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere because you're going to owe. Make sure you have a plan for it. Whether that you're going to be leasing it out to farmers, or you're going to flip it, because a lot of people flip lands. You're going to hold it for a little while and then flip it for, or sell it, resell it for a higher price. Make sure you have an exit strategy. When you make, don't just invest just because it sounds cool. Make sure you always have the exit strategy in mind, because having the exit strategy is going to help you make the right investment to begin with. If you're just buying, you don't know what you're going to do with it, then it's really hard to be successful doing it.
All right. So she says she has a property also in Nigeria. And so Dr. Nutko, I can't pronounce it right, but she's in South Africa. She was on last week and I interviewed her, and she said that the real estate market in South Africa is very friendly. And so she said um, it is good to purchase land in South Africa because it's flourishing. All right. She said
Yes.
inherited the one in Nigeria. Good. She inherited that one.
That's one. Yeah. Yes. So I love that she mentioned, because it's growing, right? So before any sort of construction starts to take place, there are developers and people that put those plans together. I don't know about in Africa, but in the US, I know these projects. If you go to your city building plans and things like that, you can see projects years in advance, and how much they're going to cost, and what they're going to build, and where they're going to build it, what new parks are coming, are they building a new mall, right? So when you do that research, you know what's coming to the area. You can position yourself within close proximity.
Hmm.
um if you know a new theme park is coming to an area,
Hmm.
you might decide, well, I'm going to get myself some land there, because once that theme park comes, then the price is going to rise, right?
Mm.
So you can make those well thought out strategies, so that you're not just buying things just to buy them.
Aw. Once again, her number, eight one
Eight one
two
two.
955
I
0052.
think I think they all have it memorized by now. So you're going to be, I'm your realtor friend. That's my hashtag, hashtag realtor friend. So give me, oh, you all should write in the comment, hashtag your realtor friend.
All
That's
right.
my hashtag.
All right. Come on. Hashtag your
Hashtag your realtor
realtor
friend.
friend. And
Yes.
then that would be fabulous. All right. Now, at this time, we're going to have Miss Alce to say a prayer for all of you who desire to have a home. And to be honest with you, Miss Alce, there's
Mhm.
only one person, and I want you to call her name that put it in the comment. All right. So she's special tonight.
Victoria, thank you.
Yes, that's her.
Victoria wrote your realtor friend.
Yes. And she's the one that said she wants to purchase a home.
Let's create the strategy and make it happen. I have clients who are we're working with right now, that I'm projecting their home purchase to be next year. So we don't the process doesn't start the day you move into your home. People are I recognize that people are at different stages in their life, but once you contact me and I get a summary of where you are, then we could create a plan within the next 3 months for some, and for others it might be within a year, 1 to 2 years. So we're not everybody who contact me is not buying a house this year.
So you start somewhere, and so that's what I hear you saying. And
That's the
starting,
preparation.
I
If
want to.
you're ready to buy in the next 2 months, we start looking. We go straight into the pre-approval process. But if there are some things we need to work on, but don't just let your own thoughts and limitations limit you. Speak to the professionals who are doing it already, who are helping other people that may be in the same situation that you're in. Speak to a professional to get the real picture. Don't just make it up in your mind. I don't qualify. You don't know that. You don't know unless you're in the field and you have the professional knowledge. You don't know. You might be shooting yourself in the foot.
And it's better to be safe than sorry. You
It's
know,
better to be safe. It's better to be prepared. It's better to have a plan.
it's
We
better.
don't make excuses. We make plans.
We
Let's
make
make a plan.
plans. Yes. And so, with that being said, we're going to have Miss Elsie to say a prayer for our audience who desire to have a home of their own.
Okay. All right, everybody. Um, Dear Heavenly Father, who art in heaven, thank you for bringing us all here together tonight. Thank you for the intelligence and the knowledge that you have entrusted in me, that you have entrusted in each and every one of us. As you say in your words, too much, to those much is giving, much is expected in return. We ask that you allow us to live life fully to our full capacity, that we live out a purpose, that we live out the purpose that you put each and every one of us on this planet to do. And you want what is the best for us, Lord. So we ask that every single member who's on this audience tonight, that they may have clarity, that they may seek you for wisdom, so that we may know what is the next step that you want us to take. We ask that you guide us. We ask that you help us create responsibility, to create a plan and a strategy in order to live out our best life, which may include home ownership in this life on earth. We pray in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. And good night to everyone. We thank you for joining. Next week, we have another show live at Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. and we start sharp. All right. This has been a blessing. And we just want to tell you, Miss Elsie, thank you, thank you, thank you. The audience is saying thank you. And they receive your, oh, wow. All right. So let's read this. They received your information. You know, the doctor from last show, she says, hello, Victoria. Thanks. I am enjoying the conversation. Dawn says, amen. All right.
Amen. So
And
I hope we all
Victoria,
have clarity and we pray for wisdom and guidance.
Victoria says, thank you for the prayer. It was very powerful. Dawn said thank you as well. And the doctor said thank you. And there are others on watching for replay. We want you to put hashtag replay. We want to know if you're replaying this video and how much knowledge you're getting. If you want to speak with Elsie, please call or text. She is available for you and will reach back out to you at her earliest convenience. She wants to make your dream come true. All right. And what did we learn? So let's reiterate. We learned that it's not too late for you and that starting is very important so you can have a great outcome. And do not fear, but have a plan. Right. All right. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you
And
so much, everybody.
we want Elsie just to say what's on her mind, and then we're going to close out.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And I hope that you learned something very that you can apply. We always hear the saying, knowledge is power. Um, but I want to add and enhance that saying and say applied knowledge is power. If you hold everything that you heard here tonight and you don't take any steps to do anything about it, you don't reach out, you don't contact anyone, you don't start working on your credit, you don't start working on your budget, you're going to sit here and listen to another conversation just like this again next time and then have made no progress. So we have to do what? We have to apply the knowledge that we learn. That's the difference.
Elsie has a beautiful website. We were supposed to take you through it, but we got carried away answering all of the many, many questions. So it's on the screen right there. Take a look at her website, all right? JudeLineExpRealty.com. Thank you and good night. Thank you, Elsie. Stay put. Good night, everybody. We want to just say thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Good night.